Over the last few years, all-in-one streaming amps have surged in popularity. They have made it easier than ever for someone new to hi-fi to enjoy great sound without stacks of gear, while also becoming refined enough to offer real performance for seasoned enthusiasts. Nearly every major brand now has one, and at first glance, many seem to share the same features in slightly different packages. The real challenge here is creating a streaming integrated amplifier that truly stands out in such a crowded space, and we think that the new Lyngdorf TDAI-2210 is one of the few that manages to do it. Now here at Audio Advice, we only carry brands that we truly stand behind and we know offer great performance and quality for their price. Now we're proud to welcome Lyngdorf to the Audio Advice family, and more specifically, we're excited to introduce this new TDAI-2210. This unit had its very first US unveiling at Audio Advice Live 2025, and everyone who experienced it walked away impressed. This is not just another well-made all-in-one. It's a powerful and highly capable component that delivers digital amplification, a full suite of modern streaming and connectivity options, a sleek and intuitive touchscreen interface, and one of the most advanced room correction systems available at any price. That combination makes it just as appealing for a casual living room setup as it is for a dedicated 2-channel system. Now before we get into the details of this TDAI-2210, it is worth talking about another reason why Lyngdorf stood out to our team. Lyngdorf Audio is part of the same company that builds the ultra high-end Steinway Lyngdorf systems, created in partnership with Steinway & Sons, the world-renowned piano maker. We first heard the story behind this partnership from a Lyngdorf rep at Audio Advice Live 2025, and it was one of the most fascinating brand histories that we've come across. The collaboration began when Steinway set out to solve a problem that has challenged audio engineers for decades, accurately reproducing the sound of a Steinway grand piano. Anyone who's tried knows that a piano is one of the most difficult instruments to capture in a recording. The attack of the hammer, the resonance of the strings, and the way that the sound blooms in a room all have to be reproduced perfectly, or the magic is just lost. Now Steinway wanted a playback system that could do justice to their instruments, and they turned to Peter Lyngdorf and his team in Denmark to make this happen. The goal was simple to state, but incredibly ambitious to achieve. Create an audio system so convincing that even world-class pianists could not tell whether they were hearing a live Steinway or a recording. Meeting that challenge meant rethinking amplification, digital processing, and room correction from the ground up. The result was the first Steinway Lyngdorf systems in the mid-2000s, which not only met the goal, but also set a new standard for realism in high-end audio. The design of these systems takes cues directly from Steinway pianos. The glossy black finishes on many Steinway Lyngdorf speakers are not just piano-like. They actually use that same exact multi-layer finishing process as the pianos themselves. Each cabinet goes through dozens of coats and careful polishing to achieve that deep mirror-like surface. Even the gold accents and hardware mirror the look of a Steinway concert grand, making the speakers feel like they belong in the same space as the instrument they were built to honor. Now, while Lyngdorf Audio branded products don't use the same ornate finishes or gold detailing of the Steinway Lyngdorf line, they do share the same core technologies. Now, this TDAI-2210 is a perfect example. It may be more compact and approachable, but it is still built on the same obsession with accuracy that drives Steinway Lyngdorf's reference level systems. Now, right out of the box, this TDAI-2210 feels like a serious piece of gear. The chassis has a clean, understated look with a matte black finish. The front panel features a bright and full-color glass touchscreen that's both smooth to the touch and highly responsive. Its icon-based layout is intuitive, even for first-time users, and it clearly displays cover art, volume, inputs, and settings right from across your room. You can even see them. On the right-hand side sits the volume wheel, which feels precise and substantial. It measures in at just under 13 inches wide and about 4 inches tall, and each unit is assembled and tested in Denmark to exacting standards, including a 24-hour stress test and full load check on every input and output to ensure years of flawless performance. When you spin it around, the rear panel offers 3 coaxial and 2 optical digital inputs, USB-C, HDMI 2.1 eARC, and 2 RCA analog inputs, plus RCA balanced XLR, digital coax outputs, and a 3.5mm headphone jack. A modular slot allows future upgrades such as a high-end and analog module with an MM phono stage and balanced inputs, or an HDMI 2.1 board adding 2 more HDMI inputs and an additional output. Now, we really love this because it means that the 2210 can grow or change with your system and needs. Now, Equibit is the digital amplification technology at the heart of this TDAI-2210, and it's one of the things that truly separates Lyngdorf from other audio brands. At a glance, it might actually be mistaken for a Class D amplifier because it is a switching design, but the difference is fundamental. The difference is that Class D amplification is derived from the analog domain, while Equibit converts PCM directly to PWM without ever touching the analog domain. No extra steps are involved that could potentially add noise. By maintaining a fully digital signal path all the way to the output stage, the TDAI-2210 delivers an incredibly low noise floor and keeps full-scale resolution even at very low listening levels. This is the same amplification approach used in the Steinway & Sons collection, ensuring the purest possible signal and unmatched accuracy. This innovation was originally developed by Takata Technology, a company funded by Peter Lyngdorf, and it became the basis for the TACT Millennium, the world's first fully digital amplifier in 1998, and is still the foundation for every Lyngdorf and Steinway Lyngdorf product. So because this 2210 keeps the signal fully digital until the very end, even volume adjustments are handled differently than in most amplifiers. Instead of lowering the signal earlier in the chain, which can reduce resolution and create small differences between channels, Lyngdorf sets the gain in the output stage itself. This approach ensures that you hear the same full resolution signal, whether you're listening at low levels late at night or turning up the system for some more energy. The result is an extremely low noise floor and very low distortion, and imaging that stays precise really at any volume. Now, with 210 watts per channel into 4 ohms, the 2210 has the power to take control of some difficult speaker loads. It delivers that strength with the refinement of its fully digital architecture, giving you fast transients, wide dynamic range, and a clean, open presentation across all types of music. Now next, I want to talk about RoomPerfect, which is Lyngdorf's proprietary room correction system. And it works very differently from the EQ-based solutions that you may have seen in many other products. When it was first introduced, it represented one of the largest audio patent filings in history. And even today, it stands apart in how it measures and then corrects. Instead of simply measuring the frequency response of your speakers and then applying a filter to flatten that line, RoomPerfect actually maps the power response of your system in the actual room. It takes over 2 million measurements of reflections, mapping them in 3 dimensions to understand not only what problems exist, but also why they happen. This lets it target the actual cause of bass boom, mid-range imbalance, or smeared imaging, rather than just applying a generic target curve. What's also cool is RoomPerfect is also completely immune to background noise while it's running. You don't need a perfectly quiet room. So barking dogs, people talking, or even nearby construction is not going to affect your calibration. This makes it easier to run in real homes without staging a completely silent environment. Using the included calibrated microphone, RoomPerfect first measures from your primary listening position, called the focus position. It then takes multiple global measurements around your room. These measurements let RoomPerfect create a calibration that gives you pinpoint imaging and tonal accuracy in the focus position, while also improving the sound balance throughout the rest of your entire room. Now, another huge benefit here is that RoomPerfect does not smooth over bass correction in a way that removes its impact. Instead, it preserves dynamics and punch while taming the peaks and dips caused by your room's acoustic. There's no predefined curve forced onto your speakers and no compromise in the character of their actual sound. What you hear is your system performing at its very best in your space without losing the personality of your speakers. That result is a listening experience that feels more precise, more spacious, and just way more natural, whether you're in a dedicated, acoustically treated listening room or just a typical living room space. Now, on the streaming side, the 2210 is very well equipped. It supports Spotify Connect, Tidal Connect, Qobuz Connect, Roon Ready Playback, Google Chromecast, Apple AirPlay, Bluetooth, DLNA, and a little bit more. You can also stream from local files over your network or connect directly via USB 2. Now, the My Lyngdorf app offers full control over inputs, volume, RoomPerfect settings, and voicings, and it's available for both iOS and Android. The app also serves as a hub for enjoying music. Built-in internet radio includes AI-powered search that lets you browse and filter stations by region, genre, or mood. You can also view cover art, see track details like sample rate and bit depth, and even set a favorite station to power on the amplifier and start playing with just one tap. Now, voicings are also displayed visually, making it easy to understand how each one shapes your sound. Switching between them happens instantly, allowing the quick comparisons for music or movie listening. In addition, there's some quick access icons that make it easy to reach the most used settings without navigating away from what you're listening to, and there's also a web interface that is equally intuitive for those who prefer managing things from your computer. And one of our favorite options is being able to control everything, including the calibration, right from the touchscreen without ever actually needing the app or the web interface if you don't want to use them. One of the other things that makes this really special is how flexible it is right out of the box and how easily it can be expanded later. With those modular upgrade slots, like I mentioned before, you can add capabilities down the road without replacing the entire amplifier. Now, there are two modules available here. The high-end analog module adds a high-quality phono stage for vinyl lovers, along with 2 extra RCA inputs and 1 balanced XLR input. It does use premium parts, including gold plating relays in the initial gain stage, to maintain the cleanest possible analog performance. Now, for those looking to integrate this 2210 into a video setup with your TV, the optional HDMI 2.1 module is a big deal. It includes 2 additional HDMI inputs and 1 HDMI output with support for 8K and 4K pass-through, eARC and ARC for sending TV audio back to the amp, and full CEC control so your system powers up and changes volume seamlessly with your TV remote. So whether you start with the standard configuration or go all in on the upgrades, the 2210's modular design makes it easy to tailor to your system now and grow with it later on. Now, in our testing, this 2210, it really impressed us immediately with its clarity and control. The fully digital amplification delivers a clean, uncolored sound that reveals fine details without ever becoming too clinical. Dynamics are excellence with a sense of speed and precision that keeps complex music organized and pretty engaging. With a well-recorded piano track, you can hear the crisp attack of the hammers, the body of the notes, and the natural decay as they fade into the room. Strings just have texture and air, while percussion snaps with authority. RoomPerfect did a remarkable job of locking in that imaging, making it feel like instruments and voices are anchored in space with realistic depth and width. Compared to the smaller 1120, this 2210 does offer more headroom, better bass control, and a more effortless presentation with large or some inefficient speakers. It also feels just a little bit more premium to operate thanks to the touchscreen and the volume wheel. Against the flagship 3400, the 2210 has less outright power but delivers a similar level of refinement in a more smaller, more living room friendly package. No matter the genre, this 2210 really delivered with music with a natural balance and a sense of realism that just keeps you listening longer and longer. It never really felt fatiguing to any of us on our team, and it scales beautifully from casual background listening to critical sessions at higher volumes. Now, the 2210 is one of the most complete streaming integrative amplifiers that we've tested in this price range. It really does blend high power, advanced room correction, flexible connectivity, and an elegant interface into a compact package that is equally at home in a minimalist living room or a dedicated 2-channel listening space. If you are stepping up from a smaller integrated like the 1120, this 2210 will reward you with more authority, a more premium user experience, and room to grow with its modular design. Now, if you are cross-shopping other streaming amps in this price range, it should definitely be on your short list for its combination of performance, flexibility, and just overall ease of use. Now, Lyngdorf's connection to Steinway & Sons is more than just a fun bit of brand history. The same dedication to accuracy and realism that goes into building a system worthy of a Steinway piano is present here, and you can hear it in every single note. Whether you are chasing the perfect reproduction of a grand piano or just want a single box that makes all your music sound better, the 2210 delivers in a way that few others really can do. If you have more questions, our experts are always here to help you at audioadvice.com, or you can stop by any of our award-winning showrooms. We'd be happy to help you out. And if you're ready to order, you can check out the links down in the description below. Now, if you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss out on any of our next videos. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.